I'm going to tell you what rules of thumb such as 1%, 2%, 50% and 70% really mean and how much is it used in real life. Intro. Hi everyone, I'm Lady from Lady and Jackhammer, and I'm going to explain each one of the percentage thumb rules and how, if at all, they're used in real life. Let's just start with saying that these are not the rules of thumb, that these are only rules of thumb, and it is by no means an accurate reflection of the real numbers on a real estate deal. To be honest, I almost never use these rules. I just quickly open an Excel calculator on my phone, I put in some estimated numbers that I usually use, and it takes me like 2 minutes to know if I want to offer on that rental property or how much I'm going to offer on that flip house or how much I'm going to offer on that piece of land. But let me first explain all those rules of thumb. 50% rule. The rule of expenses. This rule means that 50% of your rental income will go toward non-finance related expenses like vacancy, maintenance, property tax, insurance, management fees. For example, you make $1,500 per month from a duplex. Then at the end of the year, expect to see that you will actually make $750 per month after all the expenses. My take on this rule: it is fairly true on a multi-unit property. Yet for a single family house, at least from my experience, the expenses are usually 35 to 45% from the gross income of a property. 2% rule. The rule of potential cash flow. So the 2% rule simply wants to check whether the monthly rental income is equal to or higher than the 2% of the all-in purchase price. Let's see an example. So the all-in purchase price includes the purchase price of the house plus the rehab that was done. Let's say it's 100K. 2% of 100K is $2,000. If we follow the 2% rules, it means that if I bought a property for 100K, the rents around must be $2,000 or more. Another way to look at it is actually taking the monthly rent and divide it by the all-in purchase price, and then to see if it is in fact 2%. Now, is that a real expectation from the real estate market in 2020? Well, none of my rental properties adhere to the 2% rule, and if I'd follow it, I don't think I would buy anything at all. From analyzing hundreds of real estate deals, I can say that, at least for the market I work in, that the 2% rule does not meet reality. There is an exception to it though. For example, if you buy a house for up to 50K and place in a Section 8 tenant, you can get $1,000 in rent, and then 1,000 divided by 50K really is 2%. So in this case, you meet the 2% rule. But every investor needs to understand the meaning of having a rental in that kind of area of 50K all in. I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying that there is more risk to it, and these houses will require maintenance for sure. The good thing with Section 8 is that you get your rent without worrying about the tenant's ability to pay it, and you will probably deal with less evictions. Before we'll go on, let me ask you to hit the like button. This way I will know that my video was helpful, and it will give me the drive to create more helpful videos about the best occupation in the world: cooking. Just joking. Real estate, of course. 1% rule. The rule of potential cash flow. This one is just like 2%, but instead of 2, we aim for 1%. Meaning, is the monthly rental income equal to or higher than 1% of the all-in purchase price? If we use the same example as before, for 100K purchase price, 1% is 1,000. So if we follow this rule, we'll want the rents to be $1,000 or higher. This rule is much more realistic than the 2% rule. It's not that every rental property will meet the 1% rule, but it is easier to find it, and all of my properties in Indiana, Ohio, and Florida actually meet this rule. Though, to be honest, I didn't even know they met this rule until recently, because this is a rule of thumb. I gather all the data I need, I put it in a rental calculator, and I check the ROI this place can produce. And I will tell you why the accurate approach is better. For example, the property tax in Ohio is way higher than property tax in Indiana. I have a house in Ohio. It rents for $915. It meets the 1% rule. My property tax is $2,500, which brings my cash-on-cash ROI to roughly around 7%. I have a house in Indiana that rents for $1,075. Meets the 1% rule as well. The property tax is $1,700 and its cash-on-cash ROI is 10%. So was the deal in Ohio a 1%? Yes. Was it a good deal? For me? No. I shouldn't have bought it. But it was my second rental house and I made the mistake of not checking the property tax. And this is actually one of the mistakes I mentioned in my video, Buy and Hold Investments, 11 Mistakes. You should really check it out and learn from my mistakes. Back to our subject. Should we just follow the 1% rule blindly? Of course not. A house can meet the 1% rule, but it can be in a very old and bad shape and have maintenance throughout the year that will eat away at your income. There are many things that must be taken into account when buying a rental property, and my advice is to use a rental calculator and plug in the rent rate, the property tax, management fee if you're using property management, 8% for vacancy, some percentage for maintenance, and your interest rates, of course. It takes like 2 minutes and you have a better picture of the situation. 70% rule. The rule of fix and flip. Now we are going to talk about my favorite rule of thumb, the 70% rule. What is the 70% rule when applied to flipping houses? The 70% rule states that an investor should pay 70% of the ARV of a property minus the repairs needed. For example, the ARV is 200K and repairs are estimated at 50K. In this case, your MAO, maximum allowable offer, is 90K. I hate to admit it, but I've never really used the 70% rule to calculate how much I should offer on a property for a flip. Again, I just use the calculator I have for flips where I've put in all the info, such as rehab cost, closing costs, estimated holding cost, agent fees, interest rates. And then I just look at the return on investment and the profit, and I play with the offer number until it meets my criteria for ROI and profit. And this will be the number that I will offer on this particular property. Now, you might say, but this is so much work that just to multiply the ARV by 70%. To be honest, it's a bit more work in the beginning when you just get familiar with your market and with your holding costs, etc. But after you play with that calculator enough, you see that some numbers just don't change. And the ones that change, you need them anyway to determine your real offer price. The values that will change are purchase price, ARV, repairs price, property tax, and your financing costs. There is another reason why I think using this rule of thumb may hurt you more than help you. What if an investor is working in a really hot market where the 70% rule is just not possible? Okay, and perhaps 80% rule makes more sense in that market. But if this investor not really yet familiar with his market and he insists on checking those deals according to the 70% rule and his offers are never accepted, then I presume he might be discouraged and think that investing in real estate is just too hard and then just quit. That is why I never use those rule of thumb. I prefer to get my info straight and take few minutes to use an ROI calculator and see the whole picture. Thank you for watching this video all the way till the end. And if you want to know more about the good and the bad of real estate investing, please make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon. Also, please like or write a comment on this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.